Hello, everybody. It's me, Kirsten, and this is the It's Giving Mystical podcast. And this is your podcast for the week ahead, the week of April 3rd. Okay, so listen, it's feeling a little retrograde. I know it's not. I know all the planets are in direct motion, but it's feeling a little Mercury retrograde. Technology issues, communication issues, things dropping off. And one of the things that came through in the long form podcast, that was a doozy, that was a long one. It was lived up to its name, long form. The long podcast was, if these are people that you trust, like if these are good people in your life, give them the benefit of the doubt. Like notice where you want someone to fulfill a role in a story or in a wound or in a trauma that you've been living out maybe for years. Maybe it's just a particularly tasty one that you can't get enough of. But there's something about not speaking the same language this month. There's something about trying to communicate something that feels important, like really important to you, and someone else doing the same, but you not speaking the same language. So they're just being this kind of, do you see me? Do you hear me? And if these are people that you know love you and care about you, again, we really want to separate dynamics out that are not healthy, that are not loving. And if this is someone you can trust, with the benefit of the doubt, give it to them. Assume best positive intent, unless you have reason not to, and then obviously trust your discernment on that. But there's just something about people reaching out, people trying, but because they're speaking French and you're speaking Russian, you can't quite get all the nuance. You can't quite understand exactly what's happening. And there can be this way in which their presentation, you use it to fill in all the blanks of the story. And I would just advise you to consider not doing that for so many reasons, but mostly because I don't think it's intended harm. I don't think it's intended confusion. Like I said, there's something about this year, but this month that is pressure pointing into alignment, pressuring us into alignment. The fire horse wants us to get somewhere. I know there's no arrival, but it wants us to get somewhere. And to do that, we have to be honed. We have to be made finer. We have to be forged. And so all the places where you're feeling pressure, use that as a portal in. I feel pressure here. I feel confusion here, or I feel myself getting triggered here. Let me dive in. Let me dive in. If I really trusted the universe and the people that love me and that they're trying to move me into alignment, and this is coming at me because it's trying to move me into alignment, how might I operate differently? What different assumptions might I make? Where might I offer grace? Where can you offer the universe, people you love, the benefit of the doubt or grace? Selfishly for you. Yeah, it's nice for them, but do it because it makes your life nicer. Because if you assume positive intent and it's in a loving space, you're usually rewarded for that. That usually turns out to be a good thing. So I offer that to you because already on this first day, I can feel so much back and forth, so much, wait, did you get the message? Wait, I want that thing upload. Wait, I renamed that file and now it got lost, that kind of stuff. So we just want to not assume the worst because things aren't going perfectly smoothly. It goes into long form podcast. I actually thought it was really helpful. I thought it was very interesting. This idea of respect of boundaries, both yours and others, as being an act of love. That was something that came up that I thought was, for me, a really important lesson and something to consider. Something I know to be true for myself, but can I extend that same grace and generosity to others? That same curiosity of, I wonder why that feels important to them. I wonder why that's a line for them. I wonder why that's a no for them or a yes for them, without trying to fix it or change it, but just, oh, people see the world differently, and maybe I can learn something from that. The card I pulled for us was the Six of Wands for this week ahead. Six of Wands, the victory card. We know our good buddy. This doesn't seem to be a loud victory. This doesn't seem to be like a hurrah victory. This seems like a quiet rearranging of circumstance to benefit you. I would notice this week the conversations you have. I would notice this week who you find yourself bumping into, who you find yourself in community with. I would pay attention to the conversations that are happening. Again, I would assume positive intent. That just, I don't always say that. I say that now. That feels very true now. And again, take or leave what I say, but as an experiment, what might shift if that was a possibility for you? If that was something you just said and you feel, In this month ahead, I'm going to trust my boundaries enough, trust my discernment enough that as long as it's a little unclear, I can give it a breath. I can give it a beat. I can give it a moment. And I can maybe not assume the worst in others just because things aren't going just the way I want them to. So this victory card comes in like a soft rearranging of things again in your favor. The 6 is harmony. The 6 is beauty. So Libra, this Libra full moon. So it might be that things get a little tangled. That's interesting because one of the things that the old writers write about the 6 of Wands is that it's a victory card, but there's something weird about the horse. Like if you read tarot books and they're paying attention to the minor arcana, they'll be like, check out the 6 of Wands. Yeah, he looks good. He's happy. His wand is straight. He's got his laurel. Everyone's applauding. Behind him, the wands are a little mismatched and they look similar to the 5 of Wands. They look like those could be the 5 youths that are jostling in the background. And then when we look at the horse is not happy. Do you see how the horse is yanked in really tight? His neck is yanked in really tight. And see how long his, whatever you call that thing, his cloth is that's over him? This guy is very pleased with himself. He's victorious, but he's not very aware of the circumstance around him. So when we read the 6 of Wands, traditionally we just say it's the card of victory. This guy did the thing, he won the battle, he's coming home a winner, coming home with the laurels on his head. Like he's obvi the winner. But there's something about the environment around him not sharing in the ease, in the success, in the satisfaction. And that's most pictured by the horse, but it's also pictured by the wands in the background, pictured by the people in the background. If you have the traditional deck, I encourage you to pull your card out and take a look. I don't know, there's something here about what seems to be winning, who seems to be the winner, and then this quiet rearranging that's happening, this subplot. That's what I would say. Notice the subplots this week. So there might be some main headlines. There might be some, he's the winner. This is the winner. We've won. It reminds me of George Bush. God bless him. I thought he was the worst, but who knew? When he landed on that aircraft carrier in a flight suit and said, mission accomplished. Am I aging myself? Do you guys remember that? That a little bit of everyone saw him, even the people on the boat, and we were all like, I mean, we hear you saying that you won. We hear you saying, like, mission accomplished. Something's rotten in the state of Denmark. Something's not lining up. There's something about this. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could call it a win, but what else is happening? Why are there still boots on the ground? Why do I feel so uneasy about this? Why does this feel like I'm being shown something that is not on the up and up? So that's here with this energy. There's a lot coming through, so I just want to get through it, and then I'll think about what we do with this. Back to the horse, there's something that people will talk about how, who do you step on the way to victory? Who do you sacrifice? Who do you walk over to achieve your victory? So there's something here about, and this could be something that's getting reworked systemically for us, but could be getting worked in each of our individual psyches around, what does it matter if I win if I have to trample other humans in the process? What does it mean to win if I create an environment of unfriendliness, confusion, chaos even? What does it mean to win if I have to sacrifice the animal that I'm riding in on? So it's the horse here, but it could be our body. So it's at what cost? And so there's something about the cost benefit analysis to winning. There's something about the main plot, the distracting headline. This could be literally in the news, but this is probably also just in your own life. What are we talking about? What's getting all the energy? And then what's the subplot? What are the little side stories? What are the little side quests happening? And there's something about awareness around that that's going to bring you actual victory. So we want to just note, and this again comes back to the alignment thing. So I just keep saying it. This card represents the old paradigm. I won, and nothing else matters. It's it. I did it. Here it is. Here's my trophy. Here's my prize. Done deal. Here's my $1 billion. I'm all done. And there's something about, wait a second, does that feel good? The money thing is such a beautiful example. How many billionaires are there? Too many. And then how much money do people who have hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars, how much more money do they need? How much more money do they need? Like, they don't need any more money. And it comes back to the happiness research. If you have over $70,000 a year and your basic needs are met, there's no real gain in making more money. I know people are going to be like, well, speak for yourself, girl. But there's something about that. There's something about if my needs are met, happiness becomes an inside job. If I'm safe and can feed my family and can sleep well at night and have a safe place to rest my head, everything else becomes whipped cream. And so there's something here about noticing that. What are the rules we're playing by? What do the winners get? What does it mean to be a winner? Do I even want to play on that team? There's something getting reworked, and I've said it before, I'll keep talking about it, in terms of this alignment where it matters less what you're doing. It matters less what the world thinks of it, how approved you are, how successful you are on the measurable metrics. And it's becoming much more important, how do I feel? Am I happy? When I get up in the morning, do I feel of service? Do I feel in community? Do I feel connected to love and God and source? And do I feel myself as a miraculous creature of the universe? Or do I feel myself alone and hustling and exhausted and depleted? And so again, all those pressure points are getting activated. They have been all year, but I think in April that's going to get even more intense. And so you have your emperor, call on your inner emperor who's going to see the resources clearly and see what needs to happen clearly and set the right boundaries and say, I don't have capacity for this, or I have to reshoot my resources in this direction, or this has to become a priority, and trust yourself to do that. And again, I said it on the long form, but I'll say it again. Don't invite new things if you feel ambiguous or ambivalent about them. So if you feel a clear yes to something, this is a beautiful moment to move towards it. If you want to stay curious about things that already exist in your world, you might be surprised at how they shift. But if something comes at you and you just aren't sure, pause, baby, pause. There's no room in this month to bring in things that give us any kind of that just ambivalent, unsure, something's off feeling. No, no, never a good idea, but particularly this month, not a good idea. All right, so the victory card, I love it, but I love that it's coming in. I love that it's giving us the opportunity to less put our name on the billboard and say we won, and more pay attention to what feels like winning this week. What are the moments where you're sitting around or you're moving or you're in space or in community or in conversation or you're in workflow or you're in creative process and you think to yourself, this feels like winning. I feel good here. I'm happy here. This feels rich and alive and I'm losing track of time. I want to do this more. I want to spend more of my time here. That's the kind of victory we're looking for. So that's the opportunity this week. The Six of Wands, again, like it's an opportunity to move towards balance and harmony and beauty and satisfaction and comfort. It's a beautiful invitation. But we want to just note the harm we cause on the way to victories that are not rooted in our heart, that are rooted in some other external measure of success. And you just have it's like, I know I keep saying it, but you just have so much support this year to create a life that truly pleases you, that truly is of service and in community and aligned with love and aligned with art and real, like authentic. When you close your eyes at night, you think, I did the thing. I'm happy here. You have that opportunity. If you don't already feel that, it's right here on the table. We talked about the table in the long podcast. It's right here on the table. Everything you need to create that is right here on the table. And so this week, the invitation is to just look around, slow down, look around. I feel really good here with this person, in this space, in this process, in this community. I'm going to do more of that. And that is going to be victory. And I don't have to explain it to anyone. And no one else has to get it. This feels aligned for me, and I can trust that. All right, my babies, my big boys and big girls, I love you guys. And take it easy. And again, things might be a little wonky. There's just a lot of fire, not a lot of earth. It's coming, but not a lot of earth right now. So if things feel a little blup, 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 don't necessarily assume someone's out to get you. Don't necessarily assume that someone's trying to harm you. Obviously pay attention, but maybe a little more grace this month for yourself and for others. Okay. Thumbs up from the script. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.